Hello and welcome to the pot preparation and stacking module, which has been designed to raise your awareness of the hazards and risks associated with pot preparation and stacking of pots after they have been hauled. When preparing a pot for setting, it is important to prepare the hauling rope and floats, bait the pot and have it ready to be set when instructed by the skipper. In most instances, the hauling rope and floats will already be attached to the pot. However, in preparation for setting, it is important to ensure that the rope is coiled correctly alongside the pot and not tangled, and that the rope is in position and ready on the deck where it can be quickly and easily picked up and tossed overboard once the pot has been set overboard. It is also important to visually inspect for wear or damage to the rope and floats. As the season progresses, there is a risk that ropes will become worn, abraded or frayed due to constant use and contact with rocks and reef, and failure to identify a damaged rope could result in the lost pot and catch. While there are other opportunities to take time and closely inspect the rope and floats, it is good practice to constantly be on the lookout for damage. For the same reason, it is good practice to be on the lookout for damage to pots, which may result in lost catch. Bait preparation may include having to cut fish into smaller pieces. Only a sharp knife should be used, and care taken to ensure the hand and fingers are not cut by a slip with the knife, particularly on a rolling deck when holding your balance may be a challenge. Some fish also have spikes that could puncture the skin, possibly resulting in infection. The skipper should be approached for first aid advice and treatment. Minor wounds should immediately be cleaned with antiseptic and covered using a waterproof plaster or other covering. More serious wounds may require further medical assistance. To protect hands and fingers and reduce the likelihood of injury, heavy gloves should always be worn. Knives should also be securely stored when not in use, preferably in a scabbard or sheath. Once baited, the pot can be lifted onto the rail and is ready to be set, taking care to avoid back or other injury. Steps to safely deploy the pot are covered in the pot setting module. Once the pot has been hauled and the catch removed, the pot will need to be readied for setting or stacking at the stern of the vessel. If the pot is to be reset immediately, it will first need to be baited. The pot may need to be slid to the rack first so that hauling of another pot can commence. The pot rope and floats must also be relocated and readied for throwing overboard, and care is required to avoid tripping on any ropes or obstacles on the deck or slipping on a wet or slimy deck. If the pot is to be stacked at the stern, it will need to be carefully lifted and moved into place. It may be easier to first slide the pot on the rail as close to the stacking location as possible before it is lifted into position. The pot should be lifted with bent legs and a straight back in a smooth continuous motion. The muscles in the back must not be used to lift the pot. Once the pot has been lifted, it should rest on your thighs. To maintain balance, lean back while carefully walking the pot into place. The skipper or experienced crew will instruct you how to stack pots on the deck, how high they should be stacked, and how to position the coiled ropes and floats to avoid entanglement. Each vessel may have different techniques to stack pots and ropes on the deck of the vessel. These will be described to you during the vessel induction. Poor stacking technique can result in stack collapse and possible injury, particularly if the vessel is rolling in a sea or swell. Well done! You have completed the pot preparation and stacking module. Now let's review the material that we covered.